Around 22,000 of these charges are sent to drivers across the UK every single day. Letters sometimes threatening court action, demanding large sums of money for alleged parking breaches on private land.
Approximately 3 years ago, outside a travel lodge, it was a private car park, and they threatened me with £100 fine.
They tried to charge me £80, saying I'd been there for about 2 hours. I argued against it because they hadn't followed the rules themselves. They had a small sign about 3 inches square.
I've had lots of letters before, and they never give up.
At the moment, private parking companies abide by rules set by 2 trade bodies. But the UK government say it's time for that to change, pointing to a multitude of problems like high fees, unclear signage and difficult appeals processes. The solution Westminster has devised is a new code of conduct applying in Scotland, England and Wales. It will slash the amount private parking firms can charge as a fine by up to 50% in the majority of cases, a ban on additional debt collection fees, a 10-minute grace period before a late fine can be issued, and a requirement for parking firms to clearly display pricing and terms and conditions. So what do people think of the change?
I think it's not before time, to be honest. £100 fine for a few minutes parking in some cases was absolutely ridiculous.
Hopefully it will force them to stick to whatever rules are there.
I think because it can just get a bit out of hand, can't it, when the amounts keep getting put up. So yeah, that would be good if it's capped at 50.
I didn't think actually there should be penalties. The town belongs to the people, not to these crooks.
Some drivers were getting £100 fines for putting a very, very minor keying error into a ticket machine. Others were getting £100 fines for simply returning to their vehicle just sometimes seconds later than when the ticket expired. So it's absolutely right that we have a much fairer system, and the RAC has campaigned long and hard for this.
But while the new code has been widely welcomed, the British Parking Association, one of the trade bodies which represent companies that own car parks like this one, say a cap on fines will result in poorer standards and less people following the rules.
We feel that this is going to cause some congestion, that people aren't going to find spaces, and that people are going to take a risk more than they would before, because they might think that £25, which is the reduced rate for a parking charge, is okay. They'll accept that. So they're going to take a risk and potentially take up spaces. And the person this is going to affect most is the compliant motorist.
Firms will have to follow the code by at least 2023, a turn in the right direction for many, a bumpy road ahead for others.